Hey kids, it's your old pal Mr. Sketchy. Today we're going to be talking about something called linear perspective, and we're going to be talking about 1 point perspective specifically. We're going to need a ruler, we're going to want a colored pencil, and a regular pencil. Alright, that should be enough to get us started. Now, the first thing we need to do is set up a horizon line. So, the way we're going to do that is we're going to take our ruler. I've got a wide piece of paper. You can draw with your paper any orientation for this. It's fine. But we need to set up a horizon line. We want to put the horizon line halfway down the paper, more or less. So I'm doing mine at like 6 inches here. I'm going to mark it in a couple different places because I have to go all the way across this long sheet of paper. Alright, so then we have a horizon line. I'm going to do all this in colored pencil for now. All the way through to there. All right. So, for 1 point perspective, we have a horizon line, which we've got here, and we have a single vanishing point. I want my vanishing point to be about halfway across my horizon line, so I'm going to actually measure that and put it right here. So it's right in the middle of my paper. Ideally, for 1 point perspective, that's where you want it, right in the middle. All right. So now we're going to draw boxes in 1 point perspective. So I'm going to start by drawing a box up here because this is going to kind of give you the best idea of how 1 point perspective works. When I draw my box, I want to start by drawing horizontal lines and vertical lines. All right. So that's the first two sets of lines I'm going to draw. So it's just like drawing a regular box. It's going to be horizontal and vertical. So I'll start with horizontal lines. I want to try to keep them parallel to the edge of my paper up here. So I'm actually going to line up my ruler with the top edge of my paper. And then I'm going to line up my ruler with that line I already drew. Now I've got two parallel lines at the top and the bottom of the box. Next, I'm going to add vertical lines. So I'll do one here and one over here. We'll make these nice and vertical. Try to keep them straight up and down. Oh, this one looks like it got a little off. Oh, there we go. That's better. All right. And go in with my eraser, erase that out. All right. So after we do our horizontal and vertical lines, we're going to do what are called orthogonal lines. Orthogonal lines are lines that go towards the vanishing point that we drew earlier. So let's label that. That's going to be VP. That's for vanishing point. Okay? All right. And we're going to label this horizon. Okay? All right. So now we're going to draw orthogonal lines. So orthogonal lines are going to go towards the vanishing point, and they're going to start at the corners of the box. So I want to line up my ruler so that it's touching the corner and the vanishing point. Then I want to draw a line going from the corner to the vanishing point, just like that. All right, next I'm going to do the next corner here. Just like that. I'm going to do this corner. Oh, there we go. Just like that. And I'm going to do this last corner up here. All right. So now we've got this box here, but it looks like it's going way into the distance towards the vanishing point. So now I'm going to put on the back of the box. So the back of the box is going to also be horizontal and vertical lines, but we can put the back anywhere we want. So we could put it right here. We could put it back further, like right here. We can put it all the way back here. It just depends how far we want this box to go back in space. So I'm going to make it kind of a smaller box. I'll put it right here. Try to get my ruler nice and vertical. And we'll draw in the back edge. Just going to draw it going from this orthogonal line here to this one right here. And then we would draw a horizontal line. So I'm going to try to make this nice and horizontal. I'm comparing the bottom edge of my ruler here to the horizon and trying to make those lines parallel. I want to start at the corner where the vertical line touches the orthogonal line and draw over horizontally, just like that. Okay? So normally this would be enough information to show the box, but we're going to draw one clear box to start. So we're going to go vertically again up to there, and then horizontally from here to here. If you did everything absolutely perfectly, all of these should line up. Mine's a little off, but it's actually pretty good. Now I'm going to darken in all the edges. All right, so now we have a clear box kind of floating up in space. All right, so that's how we draw our box. So let's draw another one. This one we won't make clear. We'll make it more solid. So we'll show when you're drawing a solid box, there are a couple steps you don't have to do. So we'll start off again with our horizontal and vertical lines. Let me do it in the same order. Let's make it up here, I guess. So I'm lining up this edge of my ruler with the paper, the edge of the paper there. That's just to keep it nice and parallel. We'll make this one a little taller. I'm lining it up now with the horizon. The horizon should also be nice and horizontal. And now I'm going to make vertical lines to finish the box. One here and one here. I will erase my excess. There we go. All right, so now I've got the front of the box, all right? So after we do horizontal and vertical, we do the orthogonals. So I'm going to start the orthogonals with a colored pencil. And that's just because, like, these orthogonals that continue after the back of the box, they're not part of the actual box, right? They're just showing us, they're just guidelines showing us how these orthogonal lines should move, what angle they should be at. So I'm just drawing them in colored pencil. Normally we would just kind of sketch them lightly and erase them afterwards, but just to start out, it's good if you leave them there so you can see them. So we're using the colored pencil to represent those guidelines. All right, so next, you like this watch? I found this watch the other day. I just found it. It doesn't work anymore, but it's kind of a nice watch. I feel like it makes me look a little more high status. Anyway, let's continue. All right, so now I need to do the orthogonals. So for the orthogonals, we only need to do the sides of the box that show. So we don't need to do one from this corner. Take a look. I have a block of wood here. This is going to show us what boxes look like. Okay, so we've got a corner, an edge that goes from here to here, right? And we can see it when it's down here. But when it moves up here, we can't see it anymore. So we don't need to draw that in. See? We only see the orthogonal going from here, and from up here. We don't see the one back here. It's hidden now. So we're not going to worry about drawing it either. So we only need to draw the orthogonals that are between the front and the vanishing point in this area. All right? All right, so we're going to connect this corner like this one like this, and this last one up here like this. All right, now we have our orthogonals completed. Now we're going to put on the back of the box. So we only need to do the back edges here and here. We don't need to worry about the ones that are hidden. So we can put them anywhere we want. Let's make this box a little bit deeper. We're going to try to make this a little more dynamic by kind of varying the dimensions of our boxes here. So we can start with either the horizontal or the vertical. So to switch things up this time, we'll just start with the vertical. We'll go down. And then right here at this dot, this is where our vertical line meets the orthogonal corner. At that point, we're going to do a vertical line. So I'm still trying to match my ruler edge with the horizon. And this is where having a clear ruler is nice, because you can try to get them nice and parallel. So that looks pretty good to me. You try to get yours nice and parallel too. You don't want it to be like off by a couple degrees one way or the other. It's going to make your whole thing look sloppy. So with linear perspective, it's really important that we try to nail all of our angles and lines. Just like that. All right? So now I can finish out the box. So we have this here. And this here. And this up here. All right, now our box is complete. Oh, I got a little off my orthogonal line here. Let's tighten that up a little bit. Erase that out. Just try to keep it nice and neat, you know? There, that looks a little better. All right, so there we go. We got 2 boxes now, all right? So now it's time to go over another concept. Depending on where the box is in space, you're going to see different sides of it, okay? So look, if I have my box and it's on top of my vanishing point, right? I can only see the front. I cannot see the sides. I cannot see the top or the bottom. I can only see the front. Watch this. When it moves up, suddenly you can see the bottom, right? So you can kind of see whatever side is opposite the direction you're going. So when you go up, you can see the bottom. When you go down, you can see the top, right? When you go to the left, you see the right side. When you go to the right, you see the left side, all right? So there's almost like kind of quadrants here, right? Made by the horizon line and the center line here. And depending on what quadrant it's in, you can see different sides. So if I go all the way over into this quadrant, I can see the left side and also the bottom. All right? So you can see with the ones we've done so far, you can see the left side and the bottom because it's in the upper right. For this one, you can see the right side and the bottom because it's in the upper left. All right? For down here, you'll see the top and the left side. For down here, you'll see the top and the right side. Okay? If it's on the horizon, let's do one of those. I'm only going to see the front and the side that's facing towards the vanishing point. So let's do one of those real quick. All right. So we're going to start with our horizontal and vertical lines. So I'm going to use the horizon again to line up my ruler. Do a horizontal line across. And another horizontal line. Then we'll do our vertical lines. So when you're doing the vertical lines, you can line it up with the edges of the paper. I've got this kind of rim at the bottom of my drawing board that makes it really easy to get the ruler vertical, but you can use the edge of the paper to line yours up better. All right, so now we've got the box. So now, since it's on the horizon line, since it's on the edge of one of the corners, we're only going to see one side, okay? When it's on the vanishing point itself, you'll only see the front. When it goes on the line separating these quadrants, you'll only see one side. So if it moves straight to the left or right, you'll only see one side. If it moves straight up or down, you'll only see the top or the bottom, depending on which way it goes. So for this one, we only need to do 2 orthogonals. So one's going to be here, and one's going to be here. And you don't need to draw the ones that connect these corners because the front is blocking it. You can't see them, all right? So here we have a clear box and you can see through it, so you can see all the sides. But here, this is a solid box, so you can't see the sides that are hidden, the edges that are hidden. So we want to make the back of this, and we can put it anywhere we want, just depending on how long we want the box to be. We'll make this a kind of medium size box. There we go. And we'll finish this off. All right, there we go. Let's do one more. We're going to do one that's right on the vanishing point. So if it's right on the vanishing point, we can only see the front, all right? So it doesn't matter what shape the box is. When it's right on the vanishing point, we can only see the front. Oh, my camera's a little off. There we go. We can only see the front. The camera's not aligned with the vanishing point totally, but that's okay. So when we draw our box there, we're going to do the same thing and do some horizontal lines. And then some verticals. But we're not going to see any of the sides. We'll only see the front. So we're going to be done after we draw this box. So this only happens when the box is covering up the vanishing point. The vanishing point is completely behind the box. All right. So I've shown you how to do a box that's in front of the vanishing point. I've shown you how to do two that are up in the quadrants completely. And I've shown you how to do one that's on the edge of the quadrants. So you should know how to do every type of box right now. So I'm going to show you how to shade these. And then we're going to see if you can do another set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes on your own. Okay, so let's go ahead and shade them and do a little sundial. We're going to have the light coming from like over my left shoulder. So it'll be shining strongly on the front of all the boxes. And then these and these will be in shadow. Okay, so let's see. Let's kind of actually change it so it's coming like from the front and up above. Do it from the front and up above. Yeah. Like that. Alright. So all the fronts will be getting hit by the light directly. So we'll just leave them. And then all the sides are going to be getting just a little bit of light. So we'll shade them to kind of a medium tone. So every surface that's facing to the right here will be shaded the same kind of medium tone. All right, so that's the only one we've got. So these two will also be shaded kind of that same medium tone. Maybe a little bit lighter, because I think the light's coming from a little to the left. Just a little darker to contrast this one up here. And then the light's also coming from above, so we'll kind of darken this a little bit. All right, there we go. That's how you do them. All right, so try to finish out the rest of them. I'm going to finish the rest, and then I'll leave you a picture so you can see. And then you just try to finish them all out according to the example I've completed, okay? I'm going to let you do the rest of them on your own, but I will leave you an example here. All right? Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week, everybody. Have a nice week. All right. When you finish, your project should look something like this. Things to check when you're done. Are all of your lines either horizontal, vertical, or going towards the vanishing point? All the orthogonals should be going towards the vanishing point. If any of your lines are going diagonally not towards the vanishing point, that's an area where you made a mistake and you need to fix that. All right. The other things to check is the surfaces that are facing the same direction should all be the same tone. So all the ones that are facing down should be the same value. All the ones that are facing the right should be the same value. All the ones that are facing left should be the same value. The ones that are facing towards you should be the same value. And the ones that are facing up should be the same value. So if you check both those things and they both look good, you probably did a pretty good job. Other things to look at, you can experiment with making your boxes different shapes and sizes. We'll get to more complex shaped boxes next time. But for now, you can play with making them different sizes and with overlapping them. You can see there's a little bit of overlapping going on. If you're still trying to figure out the basics and how to make all the boxes work, that's fine too. But if you get done with that and you want to try to make things a little more complex, you can try some overlapping. All right, we will see you next week when we will move on to more complex versions of this linear perspective idea. Have a good week, everybody. And don't forget to leave me $5 in the old coffee can. It is now back behind the Applebee's. Back by the dumpster, there's a bush. The bush is kind of shaped like a ghost. It's down under there. So put your $5 in there, and we should be good. All right, and don't forget about the $5 because I could use it right now. Thank you very much. Have a good week, everybody. Bye bye.